38-year-old Constable David Bailey from, I believe, Dumbarton Road Police Station in Scotland pled guilty last month at Glasgow Sheriff Court to refusing to give 2 specimens of breath to colleagues. Yesterday, the 19th of December, he was fined £400 and disqualified from driving for 16 months. Now, that might be reasonable punishment for someone who might be a little over the drink drive limit, which in Scotland is 22 micrograms. But when you hear that he was caught at 7 times over the limit on his way to work as a police officer, police constable, and that might change your mind a little bit. Now, I personally don't agree with drink driving at all, but I do understand how sometimes it might be easy to, finish that last pint that may just put you over the limit by a few micrograms. But 7 times the drink drive limit is absolutely astounding. And add to that the fact that he was on his way to work at a police station is unbelievable. David Bailey was found slumped against the window of his Vauxhall Insignia in the Clyde Tunnel in April this year. He told police at the scene that he had run out of fuel and that someone was coming to help him. When he was asked for a breath sample, Bailey refused to give a proper sample, stating, "I'm just going to work, let me go. I'm nearly there, don't do this to me, it's going to ruin my life." Diddums. I wish you could all see me right now playing the world's smallest violin for this cretin. Now, after refusing to give a proper roadside breath test, Bailey was arrested for failing to provide. On the way to the police station, he begged officers driving, stating, "How can you do this to me? I've done nothing wrong. Can you just drop me off at work? I can't believe I blew that. I'm not going to blow at the office. Sorry, boys." When they arrived at the police station, Bailey continued to refuse by making multiple excuses and trying to get out of providing, telling them that "I need a pee, I'm not doing it, I need the toilet," before pretending to faint. Oh yeah, that old chestnut, the fainting on the floor job. Even I know that doesn't work. Now, Pamela Rogers, the defending lawyer, told the court that Bailey had been suffering from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, from his time as a family liaison officer. Now, this here, guys, is one of my major gripes with the police. Why is it every time a cop does something wrong and gets caught, there's apparently an underlying mental health issue? Are all our police on the verge of a breakdown? This is, in my opinion, incredibly dangerous for the public if it is true. Police constables should be taking regular psych evaluations to ensure that they are fit for duty, and anyone who isn't should be pulled off duty. It's not difficult, is it? Sheriff Price told him, "I do appreciate the personal circumstance and understand you have had a great deal to deal with and haven't dealt with it in the best fashion, which brings you to court today. However, I have to consider public protection in this matter, which you in your employment will be more than aware of." Yeah, well protected. Allow a pissed up cop to go to work. Just because you've taken his licence away doesn't mean nothing, does it? It's not going to stop him from drinking and going to work. He went on to say, "You got behind the wheel of a car when your roadside breath test was 155 and you refused to provide a breath sample." I don't quite understand that, because he refused to give a proper sample at the road. So he didn't give a sample at the roadside of 155. So if that's the case, then why hasn't he been sacked? Do you know what I mean? If he can do that, then clearly he is a regular heavy drinker. And that means he'll be able to drink more than the average person and still seem relatively normal. And this could clearly lead to him being on duty while pissed, trying to deal with an incident without a clear head, and ultimately leads to putting the public at danger. Not that my opinion matters, but as these people, as in the police, are supposed to enforce and uphold the law, then they should always be dealt with harshly. But the problem is, if they were, then the police force would fall apart, as they wouldn't have anybody left to do the job.